Hello, beautiful people. Y'all know I'm doing some little last minute things. Um, my internet, the internet was not trying to let me be great, but you know me, I'm gonna push on through it. We gonna push on through it. My voice is feeling a little better, so you know I'm out here. We out here. Last minutes, last minutes. Communication is king. Sorry, that song has been in my mind, in my heart. Heart. Okay. I know. See, one of the last minute things I have to do is I have to go to Twitch because sometimes Twitch has me broadcasting, and it has me broadcasting that right now, but it's okay. It should change. It says fitness and health when it should say talk show and podcast. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Alrighty then. Let me okay. Let me just make sure that we are good, and then thank y'all for joining me. I truly, truly appreciate it. um, you know we got to put the lip stuff on. I'm start in just one moment. Y'all know it be like this sometimes. Okay. Wait, what does this keep popping up on my computer? We quitting that. I thought we quit that. Oh, there we go. Talk shows and podcasts. Thank you for joining me. Oh, we good. I got all green tonight. Anywho, thank you for joining me. Let me go ahead. Hold on. Welcome to Chell's Closet, Midwsthumnbrd TV if you are watching on Twitch, and the Closet of Chelle if you are watching on Facebook, and any other platform you are watching on. Hi, my name is Chelle. This is Nurturing Sunday Night Dinner and Convo, Nurturing Conversations. We're going to have a conversation tonight around hold on. Thank you. Um, hi, Eli speaks. Tonight we're going to have a conversation around unlearning beliefs. And I know when people hear me say, or not even me, but when people hear beliefs, they automatically go straight to religion. We're going to talk about religion, but we're going to talk about many different kinds of beliefs and things that we just believe to be true or things that we know to be true. I got a bunch of questions for you. We're gonna have a discussion. I'm gonna drop the link in, so if anybody want to come on and talk or chat or whatever, we here with it. Anyways, let me go ahead and get my disclaimers. I keep feeling like I have to cough, but it's not coming out. Anyways, I do not tolerate disrespect in any way, shape, form, or fashion that is towards me or to anyone that appears in the chat or to anyone that appears on the screen. If you decide that you want to come here and be disrespectful before you even type or before you even say anything, let me give you this little tidbit. It is 2022. You survived a global fucking pandemic. Your time is best served elsewhere. Nobody probably ever said that to you, but I'm going to say that to you. If you are wasting time coming to people's lives or in people's life, period, being negative, you are wasting time. Turn that around. You still got time. It's just February. We headed into March. Turn it around. There will be curse words. Clearly, I just cursed. There will be tears. I am not a mental health professional. I am just one woman willing to share my personal experiences to let you know two things. One, that you can overcome whatever life throws at you, and two, you are not alone. My opinion are my opinions are my opinions, and your opinions are your opinions. We are here to have a conversation about things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about a lot of things, but I'm here to have that conversation. Let's see. I think that's everything. Oh, if you appear on this chat, whether it's in the chat or on the actual live screen, you are giving me permission to broadcast you on all of the different platforms which this here live is being broadcasted on. Again, thank you all for joining me. We are talking about unlearning beliefs. Um, those of you who may know that I'm on a journey of healing and self-discovery. If you don't know, I'm on a journey of healing and self-discovery. And what does that mean? That means letting go of past traumas, letting go of insecurities, fears, doubts, unlearning beliefs, and just living. All of my life, I feel like I was surviving. I was surviving molestation. I was surviving abuse. I was surviving rejection. I was just surviving. And now I'm at a point where I am just living. I am enjoying life. I am just breathing, breathing without any hesitations, any reservations, anything, just breathing, being able to fully breathe and not have that thing. Nothing stops me. It used to, but it didn't. When I say unlearning, it's unlearning any acts, any thoughts, um, anything that keeps you from living the life that you want to live. That's what I'm saying, unlearning. Of course, religion is in there because, for some of us, that is high time. For some of us, religion is a big part of our life. And I got five questions I'm going to ask. I should have typed these on the screen and put them on the screen. But I have five questions that I'm going to ask. Um, Not just beliefs when it comes to religion, but like the education, the things that we are taught from our parents, from schooling, just from our friends, the people we associate with. Um, just what our actual beliefs are. Again, most people, you say beliefs, most people instantly jump to religion. I'm talking about beliefs from um taking a shower at night is better, or taking a bath at night is better than taking it in the morning. I'm talking about like the very things that you think about every day at your core, like what makes you. Like for me, it took another disclaimer. I am only going to talk about life from my perspective. I can't talk for you because I don't really know you, and I wouldn't talk for you because I don't really know you, and only you could share your personal experience. I just be sharing my personal experience because y'all like family to me. Like we here with it. We here with it. So, yeah, a lot of personal beliefs that I had to ask myself the question on. Let me say this right now. A lot of people, when you say you don't subscribe to the things that you want to subscribe to, I just have to use that because I'm broadcasting on YouTube. But when you no longer subscribe to the things that you once subscribed to, like I'll take for myself, use myself. I no longer subscribe to organized religion, right? And so when I say that, the first thing people automatically think is like, oh, you woke. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not woke, and I'm not saying that I am woke. What I'm saying is I no longer subscribe to organized religion, mainly because I have too many questions. There's a lot of reasons, but one of them is because I have too many questions. And I'm the type of person, if I don't understand something, I have to ask a question. I have to. It's like a burning desire on the inside of me to ask a question. And you're probably like, no, that's a belief. It is. It's a belief that I realized like I pushed down because I didn't want people to feel uncomfortable by me asking a question that they probably didn't know the answer to. But instead of saying that they didn't know the answer to the question, they just told me they repeated rhetoric that they had heard. For me, um, I can't subscribe to something that doesn't make sense. Like, for example, I don't have any kids, not because I don't believe in having kids. I just don't have any kids. But I don't subscribe to physical discipline of children. Why am I being politically correct? I don't subscribe to beating children. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to um now I'm gonna say subscribe every other word. I am the type of person where I feel like children, teenagers, babies, they're like human beings and they can understand, they can comprehend. But because in my adult mind, I'm looking at you and thinking from my adult mind, sometimes we miss the opportunity to build and grow with a child because we are going off of the belief system that they know. So for me, like I take the time to talk to my nieces and nephews and understand why they did it, understand what they were thinking, and then I talk to them about going the opposite, doing the opposite of what they just did and help them understand. You ever when you were growing up and somebody said don't touch the stove and now your curiosity is piqued and it's like why should I not touch the stove? And they never tell you don't touch it cuz it's hot. I mean, nowadays they do, I guess. But when I was growing up, it was like, "'Cause I said so." It was like, "Okay." Or like you was growing up and it was like, "Don't have sex before marriage." And it's like, "Wait, what is sex?" Now you finding out sex from your friends and it's like, "I'm not supposed to do this." I mean, wait, hold on. You like, "I'm not supposed to do this." I'm not condoning that. I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying. But no one tells you like there's a bunch of rules, there's a bunch of things that you shouldn't do, but no one tells you why you shouldn't do them. It's like in families, it's like people are so rude and disrespectful and then it's just like, well, that's your mother, that's your father, that's your brother, that's your sister, that's your family member and you're just supposed to be entitled to be treated like that. We're going to talk about all kinds of beliefs tonight. Religion, family, your personal belief that you are not worthy of love or you are not worthy of a better position. We're going to talk about all of that. Why? Because it is 1 month and 20 days into 2022. Like I said earlier, we have all survived the global fucking pandemic. If these last 2 years you haven't looked at your life and was like, listen, I could have died. You don't have to say this. This is just me. I'll just tell y'all where I was at. I was like, listen, I held myself back from so many different things because of fear of success, because I didn't want to apply myself. Like I had got complacent with being average. And I'm not saying that, I'm above, but I guess I am saying that. I was complacent with being average. I was complacent. I'm an ego complacent, clucking on the ground with chickens, knowing I should be flying. I was clucking so long that I forgot that I could fly. I literally forgot that I could fly. And then it's the whole process of unlearning unlearning that I'm not a chicken. I'm not a chicken. I just been there. I was comfortable being with the chickens. No one required too much of me. I was comfortable. And us, when we get comfortable, why do I have to go above and beyond? Why? Why do I have to be the one that always have to be the bigger person? You know how many times people tell me to be the bigger person? That's a belief that people subscribe to, that you should be the bigger person. I think that at some point when a person is constantly doing the same thing or saying the same thing, I think it's because no one taps them on their shoulder and say, "Hey, you don't have to think like that," or "Hey, you don't have to do that." No one offers alternatives. Like when I had a serious breakup, right? The people in my circle offered me alternatives. They were like, you just, heal, take all the time you need, understand how you got here. They were like real encouraging with the alternatives. But people that were like on the outside were just like, "Oh girl, go date somebody else or get on top of somebody else and you'll forget all about that." And in my mind, I was just thinking like that doesn't make sense. But that is a belief that people subscribe to. This relationship didn't work. Let me get into another relationship. And then this one didn't work. And then it's my last ex's it's the ex's fault. But at what point do we look inside ourselves and understand it might not be the other person? It could be us and our beliefs. I was thinking about I was thinking about a situation in which last year I had did a live and it was talking about homosexuality. And on the live, one of the young people were like, I hear my mother talk about my brother or one of their siblings who was gay. I hear the derogatory, they said other words, but I hear the derogatory terms that she used when she references him. And I have feelings that I am homosexual. So I would never tell her. And for me, that made me feel man, like you can't live the life that you want to live because the person who brought you into this world doesn't approve of it, doesn't agree with it, and just downright just makes it, as my fellow church people would say, an abomination. um so now that young person is growing up hiding who they are just to make the parent feel comfortable. Now I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to anybody suppressing who they are to make anyone else feel better. I don't subscribe to that because what that does is causes you to dim your light. And in 2022, we should be shining our lights of positivity, not negative. If you're negative, don't shine that light. Turn it off. Go to sleep. Take a rest. Just chill out. Cause we don't need that. It's a lot of negativity already out here. When I talk about unlearning beliefs, right? There's so many things that we believe. Hold on, I'll pose my first question, right? Um, where do you feel that beliefs come from? Like, is there a belief manual? Like, as we were growing up, you learn, like our parents teach us. I say this all the time. Like, I feel like we learn how to connect with other people outside of our family from our family. If you grow up in a family where they always ragging, or what do they call it now? I call it ragging, or they always making fun of you or joking, and it seems like jokes, but they're really digging at you. They're really being rude and disrespectful, but because that's who they are, it's okay. When in actuality that is not okay. It's not okay. It's a belief that needs to be unlearned. If you could sustain the family members talking about you, then you can go anywhere and anybody could talk about you. You'll be fine. But that's where in our families is where we should have like a foundation. It should be protection. It should be learning. We should learn. I'm trying to get it out, but it's our training ground. Oh, there we go. It's our training ground. And unfortunately, some people are trained to be horrible people. Some people are really trained to be horrible people. And some people, I don't think they're like directly training them to be horrible. I feel like it's indirectly, like I just said about the young lady. So now when her mom is speaking about her other sibling that is homosexual, now she's like, well, I can't really say anything. I can't, what am I say? That's my mom. And the mom is just like, well, I'm just, I just speaking out my feelings. And then our parents' beliefs become our beliefs. And then we're like, well, I don't want to do this. Why? Because it's wrong. It's wrong for you to be in love with someone of the same sex, is what we are taught. It is wrong for you. It's against God's will for you to be with someone who is of the same sex. That's what we are taught. It's not a good look, is what we are taught. We are taught a lot of things, and from when we're younger and as we grow up, those things tend to stay with us. When I was younger, I used to think like, what kind of parent would I be? I know I will never. Y'all hearing me? I never. My nephew is going to be 20 this year and I've never physically disciplined him. Never. I've never like deprived him of like, oh, I'm gonna do that. No, I've never done any of that. I spent time talking. This is why I have nurturing conversations because I feel like we don't talk. Like the whole we don't go to therapy, we go to church. That's a belief. That's like I get that God, Buddha, Allah, whoever you serve, whatever deity you believe in, I get that they are all knowing, all powerful, omnipotent. They can do magical things. I get that. But at the same time, you are a human being and you live on earth. Um, you live on earth and you have to have some kind of balance. I get it. You cast your cares on Jesus or whatever deity you believe in, but at the same time, you as a human being have to do something. That's for me when I have an understanding of faith without works is dead. It's like I'm not just going to shoot it up in the air and think like, okay, somebody going to catch it and I'm not going to do anything. No, I'm going to do something. It's just like if you want a job, what do? You don't just sit there. You don't just toss up a prayer and be like, yeah, I'm going to get a job because I tossed up a prayer. No, you go out and you first, you know what kind of job you want. You know the career field. You know what you want to do. That's number one. Then number two, you toss up a prayer. Then number three, you get like a resume or you go to the job, you apply or something. There's steps that needs to be taken. But sometimes we don't take those steps because where does the belief come from? We just automatically believe. Like I asked somebody, I said, here's the religion part of it. Why do you believe in the deity you believe in? I wonder, do people even ask themselves that question? I think we some people don't ever ask themselves that question because then that would make them seem like they're questioning God. Hi, love to travel with the wave. I said your whole name. Hi, love. Why do you believe in the deity you believe in? Is it from personal experience? Is it because you understand? Is it because you could rock with it? Like why do you believe what do you believe? What you believe? That's my question. That's question number 1. Why do you believe what you believe? Um when I was they got it. It's all fast. They got fancy terms for what I no longer subscribe to. Some new thing. I no longer subscribe to organized religion, right? And I no longer subscribe because I have so many questions. And then I would ask questions and instead of people um like I don't have all the questions. I don't have all the answers. I have a bunch of questions, but I don't have all the answers. But I will tell you this, right? If at the core of who you are, you question things, um, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to question things. Most people will have you believe that it's a bad thing to question because think about it like this, right? When you're growing up and you ask your mother or your father a question, you ask an adult a question, and then they said to you, um, they never answered your question, but they used their adult authority, and this is like when you say, "Go clean up the kitchen." Why? Because I said so. It's always because I said so. It's never like because that's a chore I assigned to you or uh, you see where I'm going with this. Like it's not something that's like, let's have a conversation about it. It's just because I said so. So like when I was in religion and I would ask like that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Could you expound on that more? Using could you expound on that more? And no one had an answer to that question. And then I would read, like I literally read the Bible from Genesis all the way to Revelations. I know all of the 66 books, the 33. I know all of them. I know all of them. I understand it. I research above and beyond. And then someone said to me, because I have so many questions, someone said to me, you can't go too deep into the Bible because will the devil will start playing tricks on things that you read. And in my mind, I paused for a minute because I said, wait a minute. Now, this is the Bible I'm supposed to be reading to understand how I'm supposed to live holy in a world that's unholy. And the God will allow the devil to corrupt my mind while I'm reading his word that he instructed me to read. It was too confusing for me. And for me, it was just like, I just have to figure this out for myself, right? Because I think about the 10 commandments. This is something that gets me every time, right? There's 10 commandments. If you think about the two greatest commandments, it's love thy neighbor as thyself and love God. Those two, right? When I think of um I don't subscribe to organized religion, but when I think of the two greatest commandments, right? There's 10 plus commandments, but I think of those two. In my mind, I say, if I just do number one, right? If I treat you how I want to be treated, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to kill. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to take God's name in vain. I'm not going to covet anything that you have because I don't want you to do those things to me. So in my mind, that's like basic principles. It's basic. It's like kindergarten. It's like preschool before you get to kindergarten. Like I'm not going to hit you. When I was in school, my mother said, somebody hit you, hit them back. You don't do that now. I don't condone that. But it, there's something you learn before, like I wake up in the morning. I'm not going to slap you because I don't want you to slap me. That's like, since it's not common. But our beliefs, like people struggle to like not break the 10 commandments. But if you understand the first one where it's love thy neighbor as thyself, you see where I'm going with this? Like we try to do the other ones, but we miss the greatest. We try to be big and little got us. I just wanted to say that. Sorry. We don't mm, the basic principles we don't subscribe to, but we subscribe to all of the other things. Like a minute ago, I was talking about, they say homosexuality is an abomination. Now, if you don't know, I am a homosexual. I am a raging, not really, but I'm a homosexual. I am a lesbian. I love women, tall, short, light, dark. I love women. Um, so oftentimes when I say this, what I'm about to say, people feel some kind of way, but this is the truth. It's in your Bible. If you read the Bible, I'm pretty sure it's in the Quran, the Torah, whatever you read. I'm pretty sure some version of it is in there, right? So people always like to say homosexuality is an abomination unto God. They would tell you that in a minute. The Bible says it's an abomination. And I'm not trying to make this a religious thing, but it's one of the beliefs that we need to and this goes deeper than just religion because people grow up in households where they're told that that is an abomination or that's against God and they have these feelings. They were created by God and they have these feelings and so now they're denying the feelings that they have to please their parents because their parents doesn't want to look like that's my gay child. So back to this abominations thing. They'll tell you all day homosexuality is abomination. But I know if you're on YouTube, I know you've seen so many people do seafood boils, right? Eating, just sucking, putting the shrimp in the sauce and just sucking it off and cracking it and doing all of that, right? You do know, maybe you don't know, maybe you haven't got to this part in the Bible yet, that shellfish is an abomination. Crabs, shrimps, abomination. Mixing fabrics. If you got on cotton and polyester or silk and whatever else is out there, leather, you are committing an abomination. It's picking and choosing what we want to believe at what time. It's picking and choosing how we use certain things. Like people will tell their children if something happens to them, people will tell their children don't repeat that or don't tell on that person because of the stature that that person has. When in actuality, mm, mm, we should be defending. We should defend our kids. We should not defend. We should protect our kids. I don't have kids, but I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. If a child comes to me and says, so and so did this to me, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Number one, I'm going to get the fullness of the story from them. I'm going to understand what's going on. And number two, I'm going to talk to whoever it is that they said happened. I will talk. If it's a child, I would definitely talk to their parents. And if it's like, a teenager or whatever, we going to handle that. I don't subscribe to the we gon' handle it and then it's somebody get a little slap on the wrist and then that's it. And then they free to do whatever. It's a no because as someone who has been molested, that does it it's a long lasting effect. There's a long lasting effect. Trauma has a long lasting effect. You might not believe it because you cast your cares on whatever deity you believe in, but it has a long lasting effect. You're probably watching right now, like, I done been through a lot of shit in my life and it ain't affecting me. Guarantee you, you could look at your life and see where you are affected. And this is why I say unlearning the beliefs that we have, unlearning the belief that our family, they say blood is thicker than water. I'm pretty sure you could look at your family and be like, it's water running all up and through this bitch, like water just everywhere. I'm sure you can. But you won't set a boundary in that space because that's your family. We're told like, oh, you don't need friends because you have family. When the family is the main people that be harming us. Unlearn the belief that we have to subject ourselves to trauma and pain in families. We have to unlearn that. Your mother cussing you out and calling you out your name and doing all you don't have to subscribe to that. And guess what? She will always be your mother. Always. Because you have this piece of paper and it says birth, mother, father, always be your mother. Now, somebody watching this, like she telling us not to talk to our parents. If your parents are being disrespectful to you, it's 2022. You survived a global fucking pandemic. Don't you think it's time for you to stand up for yourself? I think it's time. Unlearn the belief where you have to just be silent. No. And that's another thing, right? When younger generations, this is a part of the unlearning belief. When younger generations mention things to older generations, they feel like it's a sign of disrespect. The thing of it is if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, the thing of it is we are not y'all. We are not y'all. Hold on, I'm sorry. I got to grab my charger. We are not y'all. We are not y'all, and the generations coming behind us is not us. I'm I'm the type of person, and I'm gonna say something to you. I'm definitely going to say something to you. You're not just gonna assert your elderly OG authority over me and just think I'm just gonna fall in line because you said it. No, I'm going to ask you a question. I need to understand why you feel like you could talk to me like that. Because what I've really understand is that when people get up there, they forget that you are a human being. We forget that we are human beings. We are all humans with emotions, with feelings. We are all human beings. So, wrapping it back around to the first commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. I don't even know if it's the first commandment. It's one of them. But that is the greatest one of them because if you break it down, if I'm talking to you as a human being, there will be no argument. There will be no I'm disrespecting you. I will never. That's why I started when I first started speaking. I said, I do not tolerate disrespect. If you have something you want to say with me, say to me, you disagree with what I'm saying, type it in the chat or say, hey, where's the link so I can come on and we can have a discussion about it. I'm not telling anybody that you're God. I'm not telling anybody that what you believe is wrong. I'm just saying if you are out here telling people that homosexuality is wrong, you definitely need to check that out. You need to unlearn that belief. Unlearn it. Some of you have stopped talking to your family members because they're gay. Unlearn it. Let's talk about this belief right there. I can't talk to you because you're gay, but your God or your deity that you serve tell you to love other human beings. What I just say? Love thy neighbor as yourself. It don't say love thy straight neighbor as thyself. Love thy white neighbor as it doesn't say what color, what size, what creed, what national. It don't say none of that. It just says love thy neighbor as thyself. Think about the harm you're doing that you're telling someone, hey, what you want to do. Like somebody said, there was a couple of years ago or last year or whatever, they were talking about people teaching homosexuality in schools, and everybody was all up in an uproar like they don't need to learn that in schools. But in my mind it was like, but nobody has a problem with the school systems or anybody teaching heterosexuality. Is that a word? I don't know. I don't even care. But nobody has a problem with that. Nobody has a problem when their little kids is walking around talking about I got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend. Nobody has a problem with that. But if that little boy comes say, "Hey, I got a boyfriend," we've seen, if y'all seen social media, we've seen people get beat up because of them saying, "Hey, I'm gay." We've seen that. We've witnessed that with our own eyes. I didn't intend to just I'm talked about a bunch of other stuff, but homosexuality and that's a big thing because there's kids hurting. There's not even just kids. Imagine you probably have somebody in your family that's like 60, I would say 50 and 60 and probably 70. And now they're just coming out the closet because, back in their days, people wasn't like as open as we are with their gayness. They weren't open. They was just, you probably looked at them, you probably thought that they probably was, but they had a wife or they had a husband and they had kids and they was high ranking officials and whatever religion they was. So you ain't think about it. And now it's like older people are able to come out and be who they are. And it's just like, I never would have thought. Even kids, like this is what I'm saying, right? The thought of homosexuality being wrong is a belief that people needs to unlearn. And you're probably like, no, I don't need to unlearn that because my God, I'm going to tell you, your same God is the same God that told you to love. You're hating someone that God created and he loves them. He loves us. I'm saying them. He loves us. If you are a parent, here's my second question to you, right? How does your belief affect your children? Say you were a parent who got, you know, physical discipline physically when you were growing up. At any point in time, did you like think about it like, wait a minute, why am I being disciplined physically? Why am I being beat? Right? And then you have a child. Did you was like, okay, I'm going to beat my child or I'm not going to beat my child? Or was it just like second nature? Like, you know what? It worked for me, so I'm gonna do it to them. And then did you take into consideration like maybe your parents just had a really hard time, and this is no excuse for anybody, but maybe they just had a really hard time and no one talked to them about how raising kids. Like people always say, parenting doesn't come with a book. If parents start writing books, then maybe that would help. Or nowadays, if parents create podcasts on how to raise kids, maybe other parents could listen. Like if you're a parent and like everyone is like, oh, these are the exciting milestones, right? I don't have kids, but I've watched the people around me when they have kids, when the kids start walking, when they start talking, when they start, potty training, when they're able to do all of those things, right? And sometimes parents forget that they are little kids. And so they're like, well, if they can sing that song, they should know their ABCs. But if nobody took the time to say A, B, C, D, or sung the song to them or played the song where they can hear it, but what do they hear all the time? And then but that, They hearing all of the same songs you playing. They hearing it all the time. It's in their ear gates. Kids are like sponges. They soak up stuff. If they hear you yelling, you ever watch two little kids? You ever watch two little kids playing with each other? You ever watch one yell at the other one all the time or be really bossy? They're kids. How do they know how to do that? You ever watch one like say, I said no, and then hit the other one? You ever see that happen? Where do they learn that at? How do they know how to do that? Like my niece Bobo, cutest little thing. She's cute. She's about to be two, cutest little thing. But she does this thing now where she shoots everything. If she get mad, she gonna shoot it. I watched today. They were over here earlier. I watched today as my nephew Cam, who's her brother, he's older. He got mad and he dropped the phone on the floor. Instantly, I knew where she got it from. And then I watched both of them do the same thing at the same time. He started crying, then she started crying with one eye open to see if you were watching her while she was crying. Because when he started crying, I was like, "Oh, come here, Cam." And then she started crying with one eye. She's one. She started crying with one eye open, looking dead at me while she's crying. And so I was like, "Come here, Bobo." And then she came, and I was just like, "She's one." She's a 1-year-old baby, so if she can understand that, she can understand how to spell her name. She can understand how to say ABCs. People have made a whole business. What is it called? Oh, so you think your baby can read? Your baby can read phonics. It's something like that. People are able to do that because they understand the learning process that babies go through. You right now, you probably have a 1-year old, 2-year old, a baby about to be one. They can recognize. You ever see the little kids on like TikTok and stuff, and people be holding the flashcards? That's because it's memory, it's recognition, and they hearing it. What is this? Octopus. A 1-year old baby saying octopus, and what did they? It's got 8 legs because somebody told them that. Even like with potty training, you probably like, man, potty training is so hard. It's because there's like routines, it's habits that you have to form to say, okay, whenever you feel a tingle, you gotta go tinkle. It's those things. It's unlearning the things that we were taught, the things that we know. I'm gonna keep saying this because tonight we're talking about unlearning beliefs. Um, Question number two. I'm trying to get my questions out, but y'all know me. I be talking. Question number two. Does what you believe support your mental health? We were all just in a global fucking pandemic. One year we was shut down completely. Last year we was like somewhat maybe, and then this year we don't even know what's gonna happen this year. It's only February. We don't know. But there's rises. There's 15 other. It's not 15. Let me stop. There's like 4 variants, and there's flu ronas and another form of Ebola. It's all kinds of stuff out here, right? Every time I be trying to be great, I'm telling you, my throat and nose and throat. It's all kinds of stuff out here. If we start, if we start paying attention to our households, right? Our mental health was affected. Your mental health. I know my mental health was affected. I was going through a really bad breakup in the midst of a global fucking pandemic. So I know my mental health was affected. That's why therapy helps. You should go to therapy. Um, but we were all in the midst of mental health. And for me, like I hear a lot of people, I actually just recently heard somebody say, I didn't want to tell my family um what was going on with me because I didn't want them to send me to therapy. Like therapy is made to look like a bad thing. Therapy isn't a bad thing. If right now you know that you are not your normal self, you know you're not the bubbly, uh, up, upbeat, want to hang out, introvert, outro, whatever that is. You're not that type of person. You can say, "Oh yeah, I'm depressed." You could easily say that. That's when you know that you need to get some help. If your belief, like, okay, like I had a belief that I was afraid of success, not because I wasn't able to like accomplish the things. No, I told y'all I was an eagle plucking with chickens. I had plucked with chickens for so long. I had literally like had to figure out, what are these things for? Then it was like, I never wanted to make people around me feel less than, because I know what it's like to feel like less than. So I never wanted the people around me to feel like that. And then it was like, if I'm doing better, I didn't think in my mind, I didn't think if I'm doing better, that would encourage them to do better, because all I kept hearing was like, why would I do that? What am I go to school for? Why would I start a business? That's all I kept hearing at the time. And then it was like, but I want to go to school. I want to get a degree. I want to have a business. And then, like you're a parent, you probably told your child, like, that is not your friend. And because we be in it, we be like, man, mama always trying to tell me. But the reality of this, now, parents, I'm gonna give you this one because y'all be right. And sometimes we be, trying to be grown and adults and we don't be listening. And then shit be happening. And then we be like, yeah, you was right. Cause they definitely wasn't. Ugh. I got a couple of those stories too. Yeah, they weren't. But in 2022, if you are not making sure that your mental health, like if you're a parent, it's important for you to make sure that you are okay, because you have been tasked with making sure that other little human beings grow up to be productive citizens of society. You ever hear, like, I'm pretty sure if you're a parent and you hear that your child is being bullied at school, I'm pretty sure you're not going to go up there with a Bible or a rosary and be like, I'm going to pray for you and put blessed oil on them, and God is going to do. You're not going to do the God is going. You're not going to cast it on the altar. You're not going to do that. I don't even have kids, and I know I'm not going to do that, because something on the inside of you is going to be like, I know they didn't. And then you're gonna go to the school. You're gonna call it. What you're gonna call a meeting? You're gonna call a school, call a meeting. You want to meet with the people, parents, and then don't get to the meeting and the people, parents. They one of them, parents. Now that's gonna spark a whole nother thing, because now it's like, I see why your kids. You ever saw a parent and was like, oh, I see why your kids act like that. I didn't know exactly why. It's unlearned. We have to unlearn those beliefs. Unlearn the beliefs that our parents are always right. Parents, don't take that as a bad thing, because sometimes you're not. We have to unlearn the beliefs that are we have to unlearn the beliefs that our family is always going to be there for us. We hear that all the time. You hear that. I'm not saying that families don't be there. What I'm saying is, if you are being mistreated in your family, you don't have to be there. I know it's like it's easier said than done. Even that is a belief, because for me, this is the way I understand it. The moment I say I'm no longer going to do something, the next decision I make after that, for me, is in the opposite direction. To me, I done already started the journey down the another way. I'm not gonna say, well, I'm gonna toss it in the air, and then whenever they decide, that's what I'm gonna do. No, immediately I'll be changing. If I know hmm, when you know that that's hi, Kelly girl. I don't think I said hi to you. That's the thing that I'm trying to say. Like, as a parent, like, here's something that I said. Like, I came back to YouTube because I was like, um, all of my life, I wish people would have said these shit to me. Hey, you've been molested. These are some of the things that's gonna happen. These are some of the things that might happen, might not happen. But here's a roadmap, or here's something that could. Here's something. Like parents, it's like I don't. There's no manual for parents, but everybody you know around you is a parent. Like share tips and tricks, or how did you get your baby to potty train earlier? How did you get your baby to walk? Or how did you get them to learn? If we share tips and tricks, I came back to YouTube because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna be that person for that person who is in the family and they want to start a business, but their family be like, no, you should go get a job and you should work here and you should do this. But you know, on the inside of you, every morning you get up, you want to start your own business. I'm here for you. I'm here for the little child that is being molested and been trying to tell their parents, been trying to tell their parents. And their parents is just like, why would that person do that to you? They don't do that. They don't look like somebody that could do that. And so now the child is internalizing that. They're internalizing it. Now they're quiet. Now your once bubbly child is now quiet and they're walking around here hurting, broken, want to talk to you, but you just don't believe that that person would do that. I'm gonna tell y'all something that uh, on a journey of healing and self-discovery, right? I dealt with my molestation for the first time since I was like 12. I said, "Hey, I was molested by a pastor of a church." I said it out of my mouth because from 12, when you say something and nobody hears you, like, what the fuck am I going to speak for? You don't hear me anyways. But when I said that, a memory came back to me. I told y'all before there was going to be tears, so I'm going to share this memory with y'all so you'll understand. I'm 41 years old. 41. So if you are someone who has been molested, it never goes away. It never, no one can just magically go in your head and take it away. It's always there. You have to forgive and you have to figure your way through it. When I was being molested, they have the threat and they do the threats and they say, if you tell somebody that, no one will ever believe you, right? And so there was an incident. The one time I've ever got a whooping in my life, I've only had one whooping. You probably like, she's really spoiled. I'm really not. I got one whooping in my life. And that was because the person who molested me told me, he was like, oh, nobody's gonna believe you. I'm this person and you a child and nobody. And so he told my mother that I did something that I didn't do. And I'm telling my mother I didn't do it. And she's like, so you're gonna say he's lying? And I said, yes, he's lying. And I got a whooping for that. And you know what that did? What that man said solidified to me. Nobody gonna fucking believe me. So what the fuck am I gonna say it for? And then it caused me to not trust my mother because it's like, you believe this guy over me and I'm your child. Woo. And I said that and I said that to say to parents, if your child, you know your child, you do. You know your child. I know we gotta work. I know we gotta pay bills. I know we gotta do all that. But listen. You are not the only person that survived a global fucking pandemic. Your kids did. If at any time your child comes to you and say someone is doing something, I don't give a fuck if you love that person, if that person is the pastor, if they is your favorite cousin, auntie, uncle, do something about it. Do something about it. Do something about it. I'm 41 fucking years old. It's people my age, it's people older than me that's been holding on to these fucking secrets about their uncles and aunties and pastors and preachers and grandmas and granddaddies and their grandmamas and all these people knowing they still going to family reunions because they still holding like, well, that's my family. I'm supposed to be there. Fuck that. You survived a global fucking pandemic. It's your time to live. If you living for somebody else, fuck that. It's your time to live. Every fucking day I get up, I speak positivity to myself, and then I get on the camera and I say, you have to choose you. You have to choose you. If you are a parent, if you are a mother, I'm gonna talk to you for a moment. I'm not a mother one day. If, It's in the cards for me. Maybe I will. But I have raised a bunch of kids and I will forever be their mother. I will be their other mother. Listen, if you are a mother, if you are a father, if you are a parent raising your child should be the most important thing to you. Fuck a girl, fuck a man, fuck a woman, fuck any of those things. Your child should be the most important thing to you. I'm saying this because for the last couple of years, especially during a global fucking pandemic, there's been a lot of children dying and their parents are not doing shit about it. Whether they are deciding to no longer be here by themselves or the person that you are with is harming them. I want to encourage you to find the strength within yourself because you are strong. At one point, you didn't feel like you needed someone else to validate who you are. At one point, you stood on your own 2 feet and looked yourself in the mirror and said, I loved you. At one point, it was there. One point. Maybe that relationship really fucked you up. That's why you should go on a journey of healing and self discovery. Go to therapy. Take some time and love on your fucking kids. I'm saying that because if you don't, we live in a fucking world where somebody else will love on your child. Somebody else will love on your child. Somebody else will love on your child. When I came back last year, I used to I went to church. I'm gonna tell you all this, right? I don't subscribe to organized religion, but I went to church Friday because 10 years ago, a decade ago, someone asked me a question. Someone said to me, what if you are the person that's supposed to speak? And I said to myself, what the fuck I'm gonna speak for? It's people all around me speaking. They talking. You got pastors and preachers and everybody talking. You on TikTok, you scrolling, people talking, telling you therapists, you got everybody talking. And then it dawned on me, it was like, what if you go to church, right? Or you whatever you believe in, right? I think when I think about me, right, I will receive someone telling me not to drink alcohol who has been an alcoholic quicker than I would someone who has never touched alcohol. Why, you may ask? Because you don't really know what it's like to have it in your system. You don't know. You can imagine, you could like, oh, I could see that. I got it. But you don't know. If you've been molested, if you are a fucking parent, if you've been molested, you know what the fuck it does something to you. Every day I wake up and I'm in my mind where I can think and function and I'm good. I am so fucking grateful. Because if y'all watch the channel at any number of time, 14, I did not see past 14. It's like my vision, like all I saw was darkness. That was it. Darkness is all I saw. I was on autopilot from 14 until fucking 33. Autopilot. I was smiling, I was hanging out, I was doing all of that, but I was on fucking autopilot. And you probably be like, what the fuck is autopilot? Is when you get up and do you routine. You get up in the morning, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, you do your hair, you iron your clothes, you put your clothes on, and then you go to work, you come home from work, you decompress however you decompress, you take a shower, go to bed, get up and do the same shit every day. It's a routine. We like robots. That's what we do. And then I decided to step out of the matrix. Funny, that's one of my favorite memes. I decided to step out of that. Some people say, "Oh, you woke now." No, I've been woke. I've been not subscribing to shit. I don't subscribe to the whole because I was molested, I'm gay. I don't subscribe to that. I was gay from the beginning. The moment I came out of my mother's, I knew I was gay. But imagine growing up in a Pentecostal apostolic church where all you hear is homosexuality is wrong. That didn't stop me because anybody know me. No, I was still that didn't stop me. That didn't have but I did see a lot of people that affected. And that's just not in the black church. That's also in the white church. They had a whole Exodus International. Them people was saying, yeah, we can get your kids delivered and we could and parents who so desperately wanted God to take the homosexuality away from their kids was sending them, shipping them off to that fucking place, paying thousands of dollars so their kids, they shocking, taking their kids to conversion therapy, having them shock them and oh, they need to be changed because they're gay. Do you know how many people from you know how many people do you know how many people whose lives have been destroyed? We don't want to say it. I'll fucking say it. I don't give a fuck. That's why I have this nurturing conversation. You know how many people's lives who have been destroyed? You know how many families have been fucked up because don't you tell nobody your uncle is molesting you. Don't tell nobody your brother's molesting you. Don't tell nobody your grandfather, your grandmama, your aunties, because women be molesting too. Don't tell nobody that. And then they have to go to family gatherings, reunions, picnics, Uncle Pete on a barbecue, flipping the barbecue. He the best barbecue ever. And then you don't even imagine what that's going through that person's mind. Now they sitting over there on guard because you always gonna be on guard because you don't want I wish a motherfucker would try me like that. I'm grown. You on guard, you on defense mode. I wish they would try me now because I'm grown. I'm on their ass. And then you snap out, and then people be like, I don't know what she's snapping out for. You know exactly what the fuck they snapping out for. Or something happened, and then now it's like a whole big old thing. It's like, well, I didn't know it was real. Or I didn't know. It's a no for me. I will never be with that ever. I will never be with hiding someone else's pain. I will never be with that ever. I held my own fucking pain in for too fucking long. And when that person asked me, what if you are the person to speak? And I started fucking and I started fucking speaking. It was like it was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me. And because since I've started fucking speaking, I found myself doing the things that I knew when I was younger that I was going to do. But you know, when shit happens to you in your life, you tend to be lessened and lessened. That light tends to go smaller and smaller until it's like a flicker of hope. And I just kept telling myself, one day I'm gonna be at that point where all of this shit is just gonna fall off of me. Cause you know, like you've been in a bad relationship and you like, fuck that. I ain't dating. I would somebody's like, would you get married? If the timing, if the person, I would. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. I'm not the type of person that be like one that bad experience and now everybody is going. No, I'm not like that because I know what I put out there. Like I put out light, love, and positivity. So it's gonna come back. It might not come back today, tomorrow, the next 3 months, but it's gonna come back to me. I am fucking 41. Last year, I made the revelation like I couldn't see past 14. And here I am, fucking 41. One of the greatest decisions I've ever made since going to therapy was going on a journey of healing and self discovery. Um, and being honest with myself. Being honest. I took accountability. I used to take accountability for shit that wasn't even mine to take accountability for. I learned that in therapy that I didn't have to walk around with that. That wasn't mine to carry. But no one told me that I can put it down. No one told you that what happened to you, that's not you. That's just something that happened to you. A fucked up individual did that to you. They were fucked up. I don't care what anybody says, they were fucked up. And 9 times out of 10, you can't say 9 times out of 10, 9 fucking times out of 10, 10 fucking times out of 10, they learned that shit from somewhere else. And it's just a cycle that keeps on going. And then it's like a rite of passage. Fuck that. I don't want that to be no rite of passage. I want passing businesses down to be a rite of passage. Like being able to like in my family, I think about it, right? I'm the oldest, and everyone underneath me is musically inclined. From me all the way, I'm the oldest, and Bobo's the youngest, musically inclined. Every one of us. Now, some of them don't use it. I wasn't using it. There's like two, two of them that use it all the time. I was using it sparingly, but there's two of us. But now, since the pandemic and everything, and it's being more encouraged, and it's like we need to have moments like that. Like fathers need to have moments where their sons, where they're just kicking back and watching a movie or Netflix or something, and they're like hugged up. Like, do you all remember the photo of Smokey Norfolk, and it had his teenage son, and he was holding him, right? In my mind, I was just like, that is the most beautifulest thing, beautifulest. I was like, that is the most amazing thing, because I'm thinking like, how many young men saw that and was like, damn, I wish my father. How many fucking grown men saw that and was like, I wish my father. How many mothers looked at that and said, I wish my baby daddy, or I wish my husband, or I wish my brothers would do that with their kids. Fathers, if you're watching this, hopefully you are. Hug your son. Fuck the word about being gay. Fuck all of that, because it's not a touch. You can't say tag you're gay. It's not one of those kind of things. It's like, just like you can't say tag you're straight. You can't. It's like we want everybody to be straight. But some people aren't straight. Some people are trans. Some people are bi. Some people are pansexual. It's like y'all creating all of these different things. That's because that's what people are. People identify as something else. People was identifying as heterosexual because that was the only option that they gave. Like people would get mad. What the fuck? Why do I gotta call them and they? Because that's what the fuck they want to be called. That's what they identify as. I'm she and her. As you grow, as time moves on, your mind, your thinking should expand. And whatever you remove, you should replace with something better. If you're a parent, you like, I'm not going to beat my child. I'm going to talk to my child. Because if you actually look at the root of beatings, if you actually understand where that comes from, it wasn't rooted in something positive. It wasn't rooted in something that was growing. Like people was like, well, I got beat and that shit didn't have no effect on me. I'm pretty sure it did. Trauma always have an effect. I was going to say some good, but it is some good because you learn from the trauma. Well, some people learn from trauma, but it has a good and a bad effect. Me, I learned from trauma. I learned that I will never, if a child ever, or if I notice something, like if you notice that an adult is being extra friendly with a child, or parents, this is a good one. I'm not a parent. I keep saying that because some people always be like, you ain't got no fucking kids. How you gonna tell a parent how to be a parent? Watch this. If you are a parent and if your child does not want to hug or go or touch or even say hi to somebody, do not fucking force your child to say hi or hug somebody. That's a belief that we need to unlearn. Your child doesn't have to speak to that person. They don't even know them. Say hi to Uncle Pete. You knowing what the fuck Uncle Pete did, you gonna tell your child to say hi to Uncle Pete? No, you gotta stop that. Sorry, if you have an Uncle Pete, if your name is Pete and you're watching this, sorry, that was just something that just came. That's a name that just came off the top of my head. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying, Uncle Pete. People be forcing their kids, go hug, go tell. And then the kids be looking shaking because whether you believe it or not, kids are like, what they say, intuitive. Kids know you ever like you ever pass your baby to somebody and your baby starts screaming? That's a sign. But you don't think about it. It's like, oh, just hold them now, be quiet. You ever need to go to work really bad and you go drop your kids off and your kids is crying and they're screaming? And you like, but I gotta get to work. You probably want to investigate why your child is crying and screaming. But I get it. We gotta go to work. We gotta pay bills. I get it. What I also get is sometimes we only do shit because that's how it's been done for forever. Why would I do something different? Why would I be the oddball? Y'all hear? I'm doing that. There's nothing coming. I'm not swallowing it or anything. There's nothing coming down. It's just in there, rattling. It's really playing with my mind right now. It's unlearning. At no point in this conversation am I telling you to like not believe in God, but I am telling you to ask fucking questions. You are entitled to that. Somebody, when I was going up to church, they was like, you can't question God. And I was like, that's strange because Jesus himself questioned God. The devil questioned God. Everybody questioned God. And you going to tell me that I can't, but I'm reading in the Bible even when he asked his father multiple times. I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? I should do a series on my, even though I don't subscribe to organized religion, I should do a series of talking about the Bible from a perspective where people can actually understand. Because can you think, could you imagine, put yourself in this person's shoes, right? Like even Abraham and Isaac, right? God, like, hey, I want to see if you can make the ultimate sacrifice. Abraham, like, yeah, whatever you ask for, master, I got you. Y'all know what he said. He said, take your son Isaac down there and build the altar. And he was like, oh, okay. Hey, Isaac, man, you going on the trip. They're going down there. They building the altar. And they was like, little Isaac looked around like, little Zach looked around and was like, hey, Pops, we building the altar, but it ain't no rams or sheep around. It ain't nothing here but just us. What we sacrificing? And Abraham like, hey, God gonna hit me with the, he gonna tell me what we gonna put on there. But Jesus, in a still small voice, whispers and say, Abraham, throw Zach on the fire. You don't think Abraham was like, hold the fuck up, Jesus? We know Jesus don't cuss, or does he? Or does she? We don't know. But he's like, hold up. I think I would like to imagine because in my mind, I'm just like, I know Abraham didn't just go put his son on the fucking thing because he's a human. He's a human being. In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna even ask Jesus, now hold on, you got the. And then God was like, is you gonna put him up there or what? And Abraham was like, hey, Zach, I love you, my boy, but Jesus said. And then when he got ready to put him on there, what happened? A ram came out the bush. That's the ultimate test of faith. Or even God when he was like, hey, Jesus, um, I know you only been here for 33 years. Well, I know when you was little and you were born in a manger, they didn't have no, I'm God, but they had no place for you to stay. So I had made room for you in the barn over here. And all these people start bringing you stuff. Jesus was rich. If y'all didn't know, Jesus was rich. So then, and we didn't hear about you after you were born until you was like 12 or 13 or teenage, preteen age, and you was in the churches and flipping over the fucking tables. Like that's my boy. That's my son. He just like me, flipping over fucking tables. God destroyed the earth a couple of times because he was like, humans, I hate the day I made you. I didn't say that. That's what he said. I just repeated what he said. So he was like, yeah, you was in there flipping over tables. That's my boy. You doing my business. And then you ain't hear about Jesus. If I don't know if you read the Bible, but I told you, I read it, Genesis to Revelation. He like, we don't hear about you until he turned 33. 33, you heard about Jesus again. He turning water into wine. He saving the lady who was about to get stoned because everybody was like, oh, she a hoe. She in there sleeping with this man. He got a wife. But they didn't try to stone the man. It was just, and God down there drawing in the sand, doing his little etch a sketch. It's like, hey, he without sin cast the first stone. And everybody done disappeared. And then you live 33 years, and then your daddy call you and be like, hey, Jesus, come holla at me. And you go holla at him. He's like, hey, my boy, I gotta just tell you this. You gotta go up there on this cross for these people. And Jesus like, what the fuck? I don't know these people. I ain't never seen them before in my life. Don't even know them. You talk about generations to come. I can't even see that far. You can because you got, but I can't see that far. You want me to sacrifice my life for people I don't even know. And y'all think Jesus was just like, oh yeah, Father, I'll go and do it because you're God. Jesus was a human being. And say Jesus was tested with every measure known to man. Now let's pause right there. Jesus was tested with every measure known to man. I know y'all probably done heard that. If you go to church, temple, wherever, you probably heard that be repeated multiple times. Now, if Jesus was tested with everything that is known to man, does that mean that Jesus was tested with homosexuality? But we can't say that because God said it's an abomination. But then if Jesus was tested, you see why I be having questions? Jesus was tested with everything that was known to man, and he passed those tests, allegedly. Because I wasn't there, you wasn't there, and half of the people that wrote the fucking Bible wasn't even there to do. But we read it. But you see, is these things. And I'm just saying these things because these are things that should be thought about, talked about, thought about. You should ask questions about. Unlearned beliefs. I'm saying shit to you, and you probably like, yeah, I did read that story. And then what happened? God let his only begotten son be tossed around from prison to prison, be treated like pure shit. And you don't think, I think in my mind, like I'm not even a parent, but my nieces and nephews, I'm asking fucking questions all the time. So you don't think Jesus is sitting up there like, hey, you sure we can't put nobody else up there? Like nobody. Like I just got to be my son. Like all these other people down here on earth, I can't just create somebody real fast and throw them in there. Nope, it's got to be Jesus. Jesus, 33 years only been on this earth, walking around carrying the cross for people he don't even fucking know. He died for you and he didn't even fucking know you. That was how many years ago? 2,000? 2,500? It's probably 3,000 years now. I don't know. But he died for you and he didn't even know you. So I get it why people be like, I love God, I believe. I get it. Because he died for you. He didn't even know you. And your own mama, you would go and tell her somebody fucked with you and she'd be like, no, why would they do that? Why? He didn't do that. Your uncle didn't mean it. I think I really detest families who allow shit to happen in their family and then they try to cover it up, not realizing, but because they don't want to stir the pot, they don't want to cause confusion, they don't want to disrupt the family structure when the shit already been fucked up because your grandma knew that people was touching it. People be knowing. You a mama, when somebody touched you. When I was growing up, they would call it you was smelling yourself. That's how they knew when that's how they knew back in the days when you had became an adult, is what they said. You smelling yourself. You got a little attitude. Got a little attitude. Now they just like, yeah, I know what's going on. They know what's going on. Then your hips spread. They used to have all kinds. Your hips spreading. You got an attitude. You're walking different. They used to put everything on everything, but they never did nothing about it. They never did nothing about it. Again, because they was looking out for themselves. That girls got to be fast. It was always fast all the time. And then I'm talking about me as a woman being molested, but imagine the young men who are molested. And not just molested by men, but were molested by women. Imagine what was going on in their mind being molested, and now you can't you a dude, you can't talk about the shit that happened to you. You can't tell somebody that, oh, because you know why? Because some people will look at it and be like, what the fuck you mean you have sex with an older person? They manipulate your mind and try to make it turn into a cool thing. And some people be like, ew, you gay. And we all know nobody want to look like they gay. Ooh, gay. No. People would rather their childs be murderers and thieves, but you say gay, they don't. That's a belief we need to unlearn, because I feel as a parent, regardless of what your child come out as, gay, straight, tall, short, black, white, one eye, two eyes, one arm, an arm and a leg, whatever they come out as, when you're pregnant, as a mother, I'm gonna speak to mothers because sometimes there's aren't fathers aren't there and sometimes they are. As a mother, when you thinking about having this baby, though your first thought ain't, I hope my baby ain't gay. Your first thought is, I hope that the baby growing on the inside of me is healthy. What do you start doing? Hi, son eater. What do you start doing? You start eating different. You start working out. Eliminate fucking stress. Anybody that was stressing you out before you was baby, if you ever paid attention now, people don't even be announcing their birth to like the baby's birth or that they pregnant until it's like almost time to actually have the baby because of the fucking stressful times we living in, especially with the internet. You remove all stress. You remove everything. All 9 months while you pregnant or however long you be pregnant, because some people don't go the full 9, some people go past 9. However long you are pregnant, you are protecting the fucking baby that's growing in your stomach. Protecting it. You don't want nobody to talk negative around you. You don't want nobody to be negative. You ain't going to club. Wait, some people, you shouldn't be going to clubs. You're taking care of yourself because you know that you have something going on inside of you. Hi, Chrissy P. But what boggles my mind is when the baby come out, where is that protection that was there before? But sometimes what I think happens is that we get so involved in our adulthood, and I'm not telling you not to get involved in your adulthood because you should, that we just forget. Like some parents are so used to having somebody there with them that they forget that they got kids. Me and my son, I don't have kids, but he's my son. He calls himself my gay son. So he's my gay son. We were just talking like people don't even cook dinners anymore. Like when we were growing up, we every Sunday, you knew where you were going. We going to grandma's house. We already knew. Oh, good night, Kelly girl. Thank you for coming. We already knew what was gonna happen. We was gonna get a good meal, and then we was gonna have some leftovers for a couple of days. We knew these kids nowadays, they know the full McDonald's menu. Checkers, Wendy's. I don't know no other ones, but they know the full menu. Oh, JJ's. They know the full menu. Can I get a 6 wings and fries? Full menus. Only time they get home cooked meals is Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, if that. If that. Or in the holidays. Oh, 4th of July, they get barbecue. Um, that we really don't care for people like we used to. We don't care. Everybody's like, I gotta live my own life. When in reality, if we cared about each other like we actually do, like if parents actually really loved and cared about their kids, when your child comes to you, even if they got on your nerves 20 minutes ago, you sitting there and you holding them and you're listening to them. And it's like I said with virtual school, right? I was going to virtual school and I'm a 41 grown year old woman, got a bachelor's degree, 9 credits away from a master's, and I struggled with virtual school. So I was asking people around me, I was like, how's your kids with virtual school? And so, when the kids start to go to virtual school, you know who had to help them? Parents. And if you're not technologically advanced, if you don't understand computers and how all that shit works, all that, now you're frustrated. And your frustration is cast on them. And now they're frustrated because it's just a lot of frustration. That's why I was like, you know what? I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, We talk a lot about adults going through the global pandemic and not working and have to take a shot and not take a shot and all of those decisions. But what about the kids that are living in these times? Like they're all on social medias and people are bullying on social medias, or they're living in households where it's not positive and they're there. Like before, when we were able to go out and go to school, how many hours? Like 6, whatever, 5 hours you were in school. That was a break. Even though they were probably getting bullied there, but they was able to go out of the house and then they come back in. Like you would think about the kids that would show up early to get breakfast and make sure that they was there to eat lunch. Like what was they living situations? What was those like? Like I was thinking, when people be like, I don't have any food, and the people will put like, if you see somebody on Facebook and people will be like, I'm praying that God bless you with food, but you got a whole freezer full of food. You got deep freezers. Do people still have deep freezers? You got a deep freezer full of food. In my mind, like when I go to the grocery store or gas stations or wherever I'm at, right, and the people that have the signs, or they be like, ma'am, you got $1, or ma'am, could you give 50 cents? In my mind, the first thing is not like, nah, I go get a job, or it's none of that. I'm gonna tell you why. One point in time in my life, I was homeless, but before I was homeless, I thought to myself, if at any point in life I am ever in this situation, I don't want somebody to say, go get a job. I mean, people are going to say that because people are rude. People are mean. People disrespectful. People are. That's human beings. I don't want them to look at me like I'm less than. And so for me, again, number one, treat others how you want to be treated. I give people, I'll take them in the store and buy them whatever and give them a couple of dollars just to go do whatever. It could be my last. I don't even care. I will give that to you. So when I became homeless, I, I said I was homeless because I didn't have a home of my own. I did sleep in a car for a long time. I did. And I'm grateful. I will forever be grateful to the person who let me sleep in that car. I will forever be grateful to them. Um, But I ate every day. I was able to take a shower. I had clean clothes, but I was homeless. And for me, I thought about every time I gave to someone and every time I treated them as a fucking human being. They're a human being. Now, some of the people that fucking be out there be millionaires and got just finding a quick way to get a couple of dollars. But some of the people are out there because they just want to be out there. They find life out there easier. Some people are out there because they have mental health issues and nobody got them help, or they can't get help, or they don't even know where to go to get help. And some people are just out there because of mixture of all of those things. But for me, I was grateful because I was able to make it through that. And then I got this house and I've been here 7 years since I was homeless. But I thought to myself, I would never, what the fuck would I be homeless? I pay all my bills, I do everything. And I took on a responsibility that I probably shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. Do I regret it? No, because you should, because you was homeless. I don't, because I learned from that. I learned from that experience. And it it allowed me to experience love on a level that you ever feel like you're not loved? You ever feel like life is just so fucking bad? It's so fucking hard. And you go to the gas station, you see somebody that's standing outside, that's clothes looking run over or whatever. Do you ever be grateful for where you are? I was grateful. When I was sleeping in the car, I was grateful. I never was like, oh, one day I'm gonna get a house and I'm gonna do that. I was just like, let me pay attention because I don't want to be here again. I don't want this to happen to me again. That's always me. I'm always gonna pay attention. Like when I was drinking and driving, I would tell anybody, don't drink and drive. Don't. Unlearn that. Hi, just a mommy of six. Don't drink and drive. I don't care if you had a little sip, a little swig. It's been 6 hours since you had it and you ate something greasy. Don't drink and drive. Don't. Why even chance it? I was drinking and driving. This is decades ago, though. Decades. I don't drink now, but it was decades ago. You notice I said, don't tell me you had a burger because I was like, I ate a bunch of greasy food. I never drunk and drove before in my life, but I just was like, I need to get home. I felt myself feeling weird, and I was like, I need to go home. Got behind the wheel of the car, was driving. I was smooth. I thought I was smooth sailing. I got to a light, and I fell asleep. And it seemed like I was asleep for forever, but it was just like it wasn't. I don't think it was more than 5 minutes. I was asleep at a light. It was the wee hours of the morning. And when I woke up, I literally pulled over and I was bawling so hard because I was like, I could have killed, my foot could have slipped. I could have, ooh, wee. That began that was part of like the journey to why was I drinking? You ever heard somebody wake up in the morning and be like, oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere? Hi, my name is Chelle. I used to say that. But you know what? That's like I want to say a trauma response. It's a coping mechanism. Drinking. It numbed what I was going through. It numbed it. My body was like, hey, we need to get rid of this shit. You packed up too much shit back here. You need to get rid of it. And I'm just like, nah, let's go get a bottle of Jack Daniels, some Secret 7. I, I never was like a fruity. That's how I knew. Like you see me going into a liquor store and coming out with a big old bottle of Jack Daniels. You don't think to be like, why do you have that? Nobody ever asked any questions. And this is why I would say, like, I was the only girl. Like, I'm the only girl. Was the only girl for a long time, right? And I'm the oldest of my grandmother's grandkids of like all of the whole family thing. I'm the oldest. So no one ever told me no. Nobody ever told me no. Even shit they should have said no for, they didn't. And now you're probably thinking like, oh, you got away with a lot of shit. And a lot of shit I just didn't do because I was like, no, I know. That's how you know when people be knowing. Like when people say some fucked up shit to you, they know that shit is fucked up and they do the, I was just joking. You knew that shit. If you watch out for it. If somebody do that to you, that meant every fucking word that they said. They just put the laugh in there to make you think that they was joking. But you already know that they're not joking. They meant to say that. They've been wanting to say that for a long time. Mm-mm. For me, I wish this is going back to I wish somebody would have told me no. When I was sitting here calculating, I would have purses. I didn't even wear purse. I wore a the clutch, the little, I wore those, the wristlets. I wore the coach wristlets and the clutches. I would wear those, but I wasn't wearing no big ass bag. But I was buying them coaches, Dooney and Burks. I was buying everything, and they was just sitting in the closet. What was shopping for me? Another coping mechanism. If I felt bad, I was going to the store. I'm going to any Bible store. Cashing. Vegas used to, when in my 20s, I used to be in Vegas so much. People was like, you going to Vegas again? Yeah, by myself. I never was waiting around. You'd be like, yeah, we going to, so, St. Patrick's Day, we all going to get together. We going to go to Vegas. Everybody, when you say it, everybody like, yeah, girl, we going to go. Yeah, bro, we going to turn up. You got to put some money down. There's people, I got rent and I got By the time be like 20 people, then by the time it's time to go, me, I didn't even care. I woke up, was like, hey, I'm going to Vegas today. Was in Vegas. Hey, I'm going to Atlanta today. I was in Atlanta. Hey, I'm going to New York today. I was in New York. I never needed, I never had that for me. And I was just thinking, like, I was traveling to so many fucking places by myself. I used to be out here. Not like that. Like I used to just travel, like real life travel. Never was scared of nothing. First class, business class. I was just out here flying. For what? I don't know. I just wanted to go be in somewhere different. And I thought, like, as I got older, it's like I didn't do that. I just stopped traveling. I stopped doing all the things that I love to do. And I knew, like, when I started this journey last year, I knew I could literally look at my life and see how I was affected by trauma, how the molestation that happened to me affected me. I could just see everything. Like, I could see clearly. And I wasn't lying to myself. Everything I admitted, everything that fucking happened, I admitted it and I acknowledged it, I accepted it, and I was like, that shit does not make me. That shit that happened to me, that don't make me. I know I'm an intelligent, beautiful, phenomenal, however you say it. I'm a phenomenal woman, phenomenally. Um, I know I'm all of those things. I just had to get out of my own way to see that. And you're probably watching this and you're probably like, I want to start a business or I want to try being alone. I just never did it before. It scares me. Listen, you have survived the global fucking pandemic for 2 years, 1 month, and 20 days. If you are not out here living, I don't know what you're doing. Let me ask you a question. Was you scared in 2020? What about 2021? Hell, it's 2022. Are you scared now? People have you thinking like fear is a bad thing. Sometimes I think fear. Hey, Famaka. Sometimes I think fear is a good thing. I think so. Because fear definitely kicked me in my ass and was like, hey, listen, you too talented to be sitting around. This past week, I would tell y'all, this past week, I fully accepted that I had a fear of being successful, not because I couldn't do it. No, it was me having to fully apply myself. I told y'all I was an ego clucking with chickens. Well, let me tell you what happened. Somebody called me. It was like, hey, um, we want you to be a part of our team. And I was like, you do? Okay. They was like, well, I looked you up. You looked me up? Yeah, I did a background research on you. Oh, I'm intrigued now. To speak more. Started telling me about myself. And then they said, introduce yourself to me. And I was like, hi, my name is Chelle. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician. I do blah, blah, blah. And I had to pause for a moment. I said, give me one moment. I'm sorry. I paused for a moment because um, I have a bunch of accolades behind my name. I never celebrated them because people was like, be humble. Be humble. You should be humble. You shouldn't talk about the things that you accomplish. You should be humble. And then I said, fuck being humble. Fuck that. Nobody else out here is having to be humble, but people that look like me and got melanated complexions, we're taught to be humble. They don't be fucking humble. They got houses and ski houses and houses over in another country houses, and they got this is my playhouses. This is my summer. Fuck that. Fuck being humble. So when I introduced myself as a musician, singer, songwriter, which I haven't said in forever, and I listed and I said that I have a bachelor's degree. And I said, I'm a 9 credits away. And I just was like listing all the things that I fucking accomplished. It felt freeing for me. So this week when I had that conversation and I said that and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of my own fucking way. Because sometimes we like to put it off on somebody else when we already know it be us. That relationship didn't work because of us, except for this last relationship I just got of. That wasn't because of me. That was because of them. It was them. Caught me fucking off guard. I thought I was in the best situation ever. But it don't be. Sometimes it do be. Sometimes it be us, and sometimes it be them too. They just horrible fucking people. But this is what I said today. I said, I am grateful that things turned out the way that they did because I know me. I wouldn't have never walked away from that situation because I loved them. I loved them with every fiber of my being. And I know I would not have never walked away. Never. So that needed to happen so that I could be in a position that I am in right now where I am walking in alignment with my destiny. Before I crossed over in 2022, I was like, I'm not taking none of that shit with me. Last year, I spent so much time forgiving. I said, if more people who experience loss, or if you're a parent, or if you were a young parent, you were a parent at a young age, if you shared your story, right? If you're thinking about doing a YouTube and you're like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? What am I going to do on YouTube? Because I don't want to do mukbangs. I don't want to do challenges. If you just point the camera in your face and say, hi, my name is insert word here, and let me share with you my story, your channel will start to grow. People's like, oh, you've been doing YouTube. This is my 5th year doing YouTube. Well, 5th year back doing YouTube. And it's like, you only got a certain number of, for me, I don't give a fuck about those numbers. I be touching more people on a daily basis. I have people, someone told me, I haven't spoken to them in a long time, but they told me they watch when I go live. It's so many people that watches me from all different I'm on 3 platforms. Actually, I'm on more than 3 platforms, but I have 3 main platforms that I'm on right now that you're watching this on. 3 of them. You probably never subscribe, you probably never follow, but guess what? You're watching. And I hope that I've said something to help you unlearn or ask questions. Ask questions. We should give ourselves permission to ask questions. Because again, if you grow up in a household where it's just like, do it because I say it, do it. Like, you feel some kind of way. You was like, well, I'm not going to ask a question then. You be in a relationship. Like when I was growing up, my grandmother was like, you know what, check out the family tree. Talk to them, but check out the family tree. My uncles was definitely, if you had old school uncles, they was telling you everything. If the dude's shoes, if the person nails is dirty, they was telling you everything. Like they just somewhere down the line, people don't do that no more. They don't do that. And then I started to understand why they would say check the family tree. Then I started to understand why they was like make sure that you have a conversation with people. Cause you ever think about it like you kicking it with somebody, y'all cool, y'all hanging out, and then y'all do. Wait, let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about adults, not kids. Let's talk about adults engaging in adult activities, and then a baby come and everybody act like they surprised. You do know I learned this. Well, I did go to predominantly white schools, so maybe there's a difference. I don't know. I don't think it is, but I learned that when you have sex with somebody, there's multiple variables that can happen. You could get an STD, you could have a baby. So in my mind, it's like if you're an adult and you lay down with another adult and you do adult tango, there's a possibility you could have a baby. So in my mind, it's like after y'all get up and a woman says she's pregnant, why does it always become like, I don't want to have a baby, or I didn't want to? And then you say, why don't you wrap it up? And then they be like, oh, I thought she was on a It's like all of these different conversations. And then there's a baby who's coming into this world to parents that technically didn't plan on having it. And now, if they're not on common ground, the baby's going to be raised without one of them or both of them, or the baby might not, you know. But when do we take that accountability as adults? If you have a bunch of kids already, like when does it be responsible? I be hearing grown people be like, I don't like when people be wrapping it up. In my mind, I be thinking like, we may be in a global fucking pandemic, but y'all do know that STDs is still out here, right? When I was in school, I went to a predominantly white school, And I keep saying that because I learned a lot from them. They had a chart and it was like Billy sleeps with Sally, but Sally had slept with Tom and Mike. And Billy slept with Sarah and Jessica. And now you have technically slept with three different people. And that blew my fucking mind because I was like, wait, what? I only slept with Billy. Not me sleeping with Billy, but like she only slept with Billy. But then I thought about it, like, holy shit. So people just out here just willy nilly because we out here. They let us out here. It's a no for me. Parents, if you are not taking the time to talk to your child, I know you don't want to think about your child. You don't want to. I know you don't. I don't think any parent is ready for that conversation. But it's 2022. And if your child has TikTok or Instagram or Facebook and we gonna act like they don't be on there, they be on there. They gonna see some stuff. And you probably should be the first person to introduce it to them because you can introduce it in a loving, kindful manner, an educational manner. Whereas if they scrolling on TikTok and see something, I'm a grown ass woman and I be scrolling on TikTok and be seeing shit. So, hey, parents, talk to your kids. Families, talk to each other. Don't talk at each other, talk to each other. We all out here hurting. Not saying that everybody is walking around here broken, but I'm saying some component of our life is broken and it needs to be fixed. Some of us choose to go to therapy. Some of us choose to go to counseling. Some of us choose to do other things and not find destructive ways of coping. I was gonna say I didn't want to say that, but I do because a lot of people you probably partying every weekend and you thinking like, oh, I just like to have fun. No, you're just trying to find an escape. And I'm not saying everybody that's partying is trying to find an escape, but a lot of us are trying to find an escape. Oh, this is the only time. If you're drinking all the time, if you've ever said it's 10 o'clock somewhere, there's a reason why you drink. There's a reason why you smoke. There's a reason why you have sex with multiple people at one time. Sometimes in the same day. There's a reason. I'm a man. No, that's not a reason. I mean, that's there's something deeper than that. It's our belief system. Imagine someone that was molested as they were younger and they're growing up and they're wondering why do they experience these things and no one has talked to them about it. That's why I said I was going to come here and I was like, I want to let you know, like, there's a spectrum, right, of people that's when you've been molested, there's some things that happen to you. For me, sex is not high on my list. Now, don't get me wrong. Sex is what it is. But it's not high on my list because my childhood was, scarred with that. But then there are some people who were molested where sex is the highest thing on their list. Like they could do that morning, noon, and night. They would do that morning, noon, and night. And some people have a combination of that. And some people just like, I don't want to talk or touch or be around anybody. And those, for me, I'm going to say are all normal feelings because that's what happens. No one talks to us about what happens. No one talks to us about that. No one talks to us. It's like when you're growing, when you're developing, nobody's talking to you about that. Like, do parents still talk to young women who come on their mother nature? Do you tell them that? Do you have the conver like I come from an era where there was nurturing conversations. Now it's just like you learned it from this. How Surrey, hey Google, how do you instead of your parents or somebody that really love you talking to you and telling you about it? I remember growing up in church and everybody was like, "Oh, you should marry," and I was just thinking like, why do we tell people to get married? If y'all think about it, like a lot of stuff we do, they say church and state are separate, but a lot of stuff we do is based on religious things. A lot of it. If you were like me and you grew up in church, you were like, I don't want to say forced, but you were forced to go to church. Did you, when you got older, did you ever think like, when I get to a certain age, I'm not going to go to church no more? But you still held on to the beliefs, right? You still pay tithes. You still do all of that because you don't want God to get you. You don't want God to be angry. In my mind, I'd be thinking like, how is God angry? Like there's a saying in the church world or the religious world, and it says God knows your end from your beginning and your beginning from your end. So if God has that much information, He already know what I'm gonna do. And then someone was like, yeah, you have free will. Don't even get me started on the free will conversation because in my mind, I'm thinking like, if I have free will, but you already know what I'm going to do, is it really free? You already know that I was going to have a whole podcast talking about nurturing conversation, talking about religion, talking about molestation, talking about trauma, abuse, domestic violence, talking about everything that nobody fucking talks about. You already knew that. You already knew I can handle whatever comes as a result of that. So wouldn't you think like I was thinking like my life actually prepared me. I've never been one of the type of people that was like actually care what somebody else thought because I think so highly of myself. Now I don't think highly when I'm talking to other people. Like I don't boast myself up to be this other person. I actually downplay myself so much. I used to, not in 2022. I said no. You gonna get sick of me. You've been on TikTok on Instagram, sick of me. You gonna be sick of me. Y'all gonna be sick of me because I'm light, love, and positivity to the day I die. Well, I have to do my fingers like that. You gonna be sick of me. You gonna come on my channel. You gonna keep positive affirmations. You gonna hear that. You gonna see meditations. You gonna see that. You know why? Because how many times in a week have you took a time and went or didn't have to cuss somebody out? Last night I was driving down the street last night and you ever been driving? You an attentive driver. I'm an attentive driver. I was paying attention to the road. So I see somebody creeping out. You know, you driving, you got the right of way. I got a green, they got a red. It's a strong red. So I'm driving, I'm thinking the person about to turn the corner. And I'm driving, and this person speeds like it's me. It's me and it's them. And they speed through the red light. And normally traditionally, I would be like, you know, you say the words when somebody just in front of you, but I didn't say anything. I was just silent. And I said, this is what I said in my mind. I said, I hope wherever they are speeding off to, the person that they're speeding to is okay. I hope everything works in their favor because I don't know why that person was speeding. But in my mind, I didn't have that response that I would normally have. Like yesterday, I was doing Saturday Night Vibes and my internet kept going in and out. And I was just like, I remember a time I would be like, fuck it, I'm just not going to do it and log off and tell y'all bye and just log off. And it was like, no, I said I'm going to do this and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stay the entire time and I'm going to do it. But you best believe I talk to Spectrum. You best believe that. I be telling people when we go um to restaurants and stuff, right? Hold on. I be telling people when we go to restaurants, my brothers and people that go to restaurants with me, they used to be upset. When I tell y'all they used to be upset, oh, sorry, that is sick of me. They used to be upset, right? But now all of them changed that tune. You know why they changed that tune? Because this is my thought, right? If I go to a restaurant and I look at a thing and it says asparagus, chicken marsala with mushrooms, red mashed potatoes, and I could customize them, right? And you give me the option to customize them, and I customize them, and you come out and there's potatoes that's not customized. I'm gonna say, excuse me, I'm paying for this. I need my customized potatoes. People in their mind be like, they gonna spit it and they gonna do this. And if they do that, guess what I'm going to do? I'm gonna take a picture, I'm gonna videotape. I was at this place at this time, and I'm gonna post it on my social media because you know that's how you get people nowadays. I'm not telling you to do that, but don't do it. Don't do it. But I'm telling you what I would do. So when I go to even if I pull up to a drive-through, I'm not leaving out that drive-through till I check my food. You ever been through a drive-through and then get all the way home and it's not the right way? If you live in Wisconsin, you know it'd be cold as hell at nighttime. So you're not about to go back outside. Now you mad because you should have checked your fucking bag while you was there. I was telling my brothers this all the time. I be telling everybody around me. They was like, man, sure you gonna make us Mm-mm. And I leave a tip after I do all of that because I'm not one of those type of people. I want to make sure that my shit is straight. Like if you ever been to a beauty salon or you ever been to the barber shop and you had they cut your hair or they styled your hair and it wasn't right. What you do, you get up out the chair, right? Because I don't like conflict. I don't, not me. Oh, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. If it's not done how I asked you to do it, I don't want you to do it how you felt like you want to do it. No, you ever see on the shade the shade room be having all the time is people like this is what I asked for and this is what I got, and I be looking like people actually left. You got out the chair. Wait, you paid the person? It's a no for me. Y'all ever see them videos of the African women when you go in and get your hair braided, you say something slick to you gonna see them scissors. They cutting that shit right up out your head. They don't care nothing about you. They combing it. They getting and you gonna get up out their store. They don't care about it. You already paid them. They don't care nothing about that. I ain't tolerating no disrespect from nobody in 2022. If you a YouTuber, Twitcher, Facebook, or whoever you are, and you bring that shit to my doorstep, guess what we gonna do? We gonna have an adult conversation. I'm not yelling at nobody. I don't even like to raise my voice at all. I don't. I just got my fucking voice back. You think I'm gonna raise it at somebody? It's a no for me. Nope, not happening. Won't do it. I will have an adult conversation with you though. Because that's what I feel like people don't have conversations. It's just like, oh, I'm done with you. You could be done with me, but I'm going to say what the fuck I need to say and you going to hear it. Because somebody needs to tell you. Somebody needs to tell you you're not angry at me. If you think about it, right? You ever yell at somebody, but you're really not angry at them. You're just angry at what just happened, but this person just happened to be here. So now you're yelling at them. Oh, I had that happen to me a lot in my lifetime. People just yelling because it's like, well, I know you ain't going to do nothing about it. But that was the problem. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't say anything. I didn't do nothing about it. But 2022, y'all better ask around. People been like, wait a minute, Chelle. It's a no for me. I'm not a garbage disposal. I'm not a landfill. I'm not none of that shit. I survived. People around me keep saying, why you keep saying that? Because I survived. I literally survived. September 2021. I realized thought my life was over. I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100. I done went and paid funeral stuff. I done did all of that because I thought it was over. It had a grip on me and I thought it was over. And then I was like, if you let me get up out this fucking bed, I promise you I'm gonna do everything. I promise you I'm gonna do everything. Who did I pray to? I didn't pray to nobody. I said to myself, I said, listen, if you get up out this fucking bed, you're doing everything. Everything you ever wanted to do. I don't care if you fail. I don't care if I fall on my face 15 times. Guess what? I'm gonna get up on that 16th time and I'm gonna have that shit together. It ain't gonna take me 15 times because I'm like one or two. And by the third time I got it, sometimes even the first time I got it. But I'm not going for it. Not at all. I set boundaries and I'm not crossing them because it's about me. I'm choosing me in 2022. I thought I'm the oldest, so I took care of everybody. I took care of my parents too. I took care of every fucking body. Last year was the first year I was like, I'm not doing shit for nobody. I'm just focusing on me. And you don't think people was like, you acted different. You acted like, of course they did. But you think I fucking care? No, because I am responsible for me. You are responsible for you. You have to look out for yourself. If you're a parent, you have to look out for those kids. You already know your baby daddy, baby mama ain't shit. You already knew that. You knew that when you laid down with them. You have to take care of those kids. You have to make sure that they feel protected. They feel safe. I know parents all the time be like, I want to have the relationship with my child. Like people, hold on. Parents, don't let nobody tell you and your kids can't fucking be friends. You and your kids should fucking be friends, especially in 2022. Your child should be one of your best friends. And that's because people have this warped sense of thinking about that situation. But no, you and your child should be best friends. Your child should feel so comfortable coming to talk to you about their period, they wet dreams, whatever the fuck they should be comfortable to come and talk to you about that. And in your brain, you like, yeah, I want my child to. You probably said it right. As soon as I said it, you probably, yep, I want my baby to come tell me about everything. You should want that. You don't want your child to feel like they can't talk to you about shit. That's why, if as an adult, you be like, get out of adults conversation. You couldn't even when I was growing up, you couldn't even be in the same room as adults. You had to go upstairs, over there. Not nowadays. People don't care. They'll learn. They're not being taught. People are not being taught anymore. It's whatever they experience. Like I was thinking, I was like, I remember like when I was growing up, people hugged you, people told you how proud of you they were. Like now, do kids even get that? Do parents even hug their kids and be like, I'm so proud of you. I'm happy for you. Good job. I got a video I'm uploading. I figured out what was wrong with my sound, but I got a video that I'm uploading. Bobo again. Bobo is my niece Lauren. She's one. Whenever she do something and she hear the words "good job," she start clapping and then she say high five. She's one. She will literally say start clapping and say high five. Positive reinforcements. Your child do something that you don't like or they irritate you to them. Don't yell at you stupid dumb. Don't do that because somewhere in the back of their mind that's gonna register. My mom used to call me dumb and stupid all the time. So now they growing up and they going to school and they not doing the work because they're dumb. You call them dumb. So they feeling like they dumb. They don't apply themselves. Now they the class clown or they the class bully. Cause at home it's all a yelling, and they get beat up by their business. Or you the parent and beating them all the time. So then the anger has to go somewhere. You see how it is? It's a circle of life. If you are a parent and you like, man, my mother used to beat me breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you turn around and beat your kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you didn't learn anything. You can't tell these people they didn't learn anything. You didn't learn anything. That's in, in my life. I think about the situations I went through. When I said I felt rejection from my parents, from my mother and father, the two people who were adult enough to have a whatever situation they had to bring me here. I felt abandoned by them. And then when I was like, let me unlearn, let me, uh, therapy helped me. Therapy helped me get to this point where I was like, you know what? I have to look at my parents as human beings because they are human beings. Yes, they're my parents, but they're also human fucking beings. So when I removed the they should have did and this is what y'all should have did as my parents. When I removed that, I was like, let me understand where you were as a parent. Let me understand what was going on as I was growing up. And then I understood my father, I understood my mother, and it was just like, holy shit, y'all didn't there wasn't y'all like we go reject her, we go to abandon her. That wasn't their thing. It was they didn't understand. They didn't know, they didn't understand. They thought they was doing the best that they but the people around them could have helped. And I say could have helped because like if you are an older adult and you experience something, that's why I share. Don't you fucking get in the car drinking and driving. Don't do that. No, I did not harm anybody. No, I did not even get in an accident, but that terrified me. I don't want you to experience that. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you are somebody that's been molested, silence is not a fucking option. It's not. It's not an option. If you are a parent and your child told you that somebody, I don't give a fuck if they your favorite cousin, auntie, uncle, they hold a high ranking position. I don't give a fuck. Silence is not an option because let me tell you what silence does. Silence breeds more trauma. It does. Because they'll be silent about that. And now they're in a relationship and that person is beating them. They're silent about that. They're having thoughts of no longer being here. Now they're silent about that. And you know what always happens? Someone passes away and it's like, I had never seen a sign. I didn't even know. I wish they would have said something. I wish they would have called me. I wish they would have did. And they always do. People, it's called, I have a song. I have a song that I'm going to be sharing in the coming months, and it's called Sign Language. And I know when you think about sign language, you think about an interpreter signing the language. But for me, it's like the signs of people crying out, or the signs of people asking for help, but we never pay attention to them until they are no longer here. And it's like, oh, well, they did call me and I didn't respond. That's why when I be talking on lives and stuff, I say, hey, if somebody drops in your heart or in your mind, call them, FaceTime them, text them, pull up at their house. You never know. And I feel like the universe be trying to tell us, like, you ever been somewhere and it's like, hey, call your mama. He's like, nah, I call my mama when I get home. But you don't even know at that moment what your mother is going through. You don't even know, like, you could be, your phone call could literally be saving somebody's life at that very moment. Somebody calling you, you look at the phone like, what you calling me for? Like, I used to have this thing, I know you probably got it too, where if the number wasn't in my phone, I wasn't answering it. Well, I don't know you. Why are you calling me? I picked up the phone the other day and the voice I heard on the other end of it. Oh, I was so happy when I heard that voice on the other end. I was so happy. I was so happy and I was so grateful because I was just like, you've been on my mind and heart, and I had no way of getting into contact with this person. All the social medias that they used to have, they have no more. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna contact them. And I answered, I just happened to answer. I said 2022, I'm gonna start answering because you never know. It's like I said, when I lost my father, someone was like, you didn't even have a relationship with your father. I said, that doesn't take away the fact that I lost my fucking father. He's my father. I'm 41, but I got to spend 6 wonderful years with him. When I needed him the most, he was fucking there. So it was heartbreaking for me to lose him. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to come here and I'm going to talk to y'all. Because I think people should know, like, I lost my father, right? I lost my father. And when I lost my father, it made me hone in on my mother. It made me hone in on my mother. And I kid you not, like, I be saying, me and my mother done went to dinner. We done hung out so many times in January, February. We done hung out so many times. I know she probably tired of me. If you watch it, don't be tired of me. It's like when you lose a parent, I don't know, like, it's the grieving of it. And then I'm looking at my mom and I'm like, oh, you're getting up there too. And I don't even know. I experienced so much loss in my fucking life. I used to there is there is this lady, uh, she kind of not kind of she honestly restored my faith in humanity because I was like, fuck humans, I don't care. I'm a human, but I was like, fuck humans, I don't care. But this woman loved me. She loved on me. She loved me. She cared about me. She made me fucking hot water cornbread. And you probably like, what the fuck is hot water cornbread? But if you grew up in the South, you know hot water cornbread, when people put the handprints, it ain't hot water cornbread if they don't have the handprints in there. I'm just telling you that right now. This woman loved me. I was at her house. She welcomed me with open arms. Like, I stayed at her house for days. Like, this lady restored my faith in humanity, and she restored my faith. Like, I don't believe in God. I don't subscribe to that, but she lets me know that there is something else out there because her spirit is so genuine, so genuine, so so genuine. Like, it's just some people, like, you just know, like, there is something about them. Their spirit is so genuine. Just a mommy of six. And that is what, hi Sabrina Thomas, that is exactly why I say, if somebody calls you or if somebody drops in your spirit, this lady had got sick and I went to the hospital and I was scared. I was scared because I've lost so many people that I loved, so many people that looked out for me. I've lost them. Like, they're gone. They're no longer here now. And I was like, if I distance myself, it won't If I distance myself, I won't be as hurt if something was to happen to her. And then I start to think, like, I would feel so bad if I can't like talk to her. Like she treated me with love and kindness. And I did like I real life was afraid of losing her. So I distanced myself from her. I did that. Trying to protect my own self. But then I started to think like, oh no, I would be devastated if something happened to this lady. I would be devastated. So I told you at the beginning, I went to church. I went to church because I wanted to see her because I know that's the place where she's, that's where she dwells. So I went there, but she wasn't there. And so I hit her daughter like, hey, I really miss your mom. And she was like, hey, hit me, we could work. I was like, thank you. So it's like fear. Like I had to let it go. I had to get out of my own way. And I'm saying this because maybe you are thinking about, you have ideas that you want to do. Even if you're a parent, you have a way that you want to raise your child where they could grow up believing in themselves. Like you could teach them about money. Like I had a bunch of people that was my age. It was like, damn, we wish that we would have learned about credit. But at our age, we had light bills and cable bills and car notes and all kinds of shit in our name. So now we get older and you now you get older and then you call us like I was only 10. So how do I have a We Energies bill that's $6,000? I was only 10. And then it's like, well, do you want to file a fraud case? And now it's like, do I snitch on my mama? Because she was the one that did it. But we had lights. And so now that's a hard decision that we have to make because it's like, who really want to file a fraud case on their mama? I mean, some people do, but who really want to do that? So we be putting ourselves in places where we have to make hard decisions that we really don't have to make if we just focus on us. It's Black Christian Month, and people be like minding my black business. Hey, I'm minding my black business, but at the same time, I'm being mindful about the people that's around me. Real mindful. Because the last thing I want to have somebody around me feeling like they don't want to make it, they don't want to go on anymore, and then something happened to them, and they're crying out their sign language, their signs that are there, and I don't do something about it. My gay son, I had a conversation with my gay son. I was like, hey, I love you. He's watching. He's watching. He's here actually. He's watching. And I was like, I love you if at any time. People need to know that they could just talk to you. I know a lot of times, like, I don't want to hear that shit. I be saying, I don't want to hear it if you're not going to do something about it. So anybody come and talk to me, I'll listen. And I say, what you going to do about it? If this is the 15th time you don't talk to me about the same relationship you in, what are you going to do about it? If you're just going to keep on talking about it, no, you got to do something different. We just start talking about the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, thinking that you're going to get a different result. It's impossible because you're doing the same thing. Ta-da! You have to unlearn that. You want to get something different. You want to get a better position. You have to do something you would have never done before. I wanted to score a documentary. I had to do something I would have never done before. I had to put myself out there. And not like that. I had to put myself like, hey, I'm looking to score a documentary. I had to put myself out there. It took me acknowledging my gifts of being a musician, singer, songwriter, and then doing it. I said for years, like, man, I'm gonna write an album, I'm gonna arrange an album, I'm gonna produce an album, I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. And then people were calling me. I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. No, I'm not ready yet. The whole time I was ready, I just wasn't ready to let that fear go. And now I'm like, fuck fear. Every night at 11 o'clock, I'm plugging myself right now. Every night at 11 o'clock, I go live on TikTok and make beats. 10 minutes. Do a 10-minute beat challenge every night for the last 19 days. Tonight at 11, I'll be over at TikTok making beats. I've had multiple people come in this week alone. And it's like, you inspire me to get back to making music. That's all I do it for. And to let you know, like, I'm talking right now. I'm on a nurturing conversation video podcast that I'm I was debating. I'm not debating anymore. I'm definitely going to turn it into an audio podcast too. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, you should do one. What the fuck am I going to talk about? Whatever the fuck you want to talk about. It's people that talk about other people on their podcasts. It's real life people that talk about other people on the podcast. If you are a parent and you're struggling, talk about it. There's other parents that can call in and be like, girl, I'm struggling too. I'm trying to figure out how I can keep my son or keep my daughter. If you're a teacher and you know tips and tricks on how to get students motivated to get up out the bed to go to school, because I, I was watching I'm talking to my niece and she like, I'm like, what you doing? She like in class. I'm like, you laying in bed underneath the cover? What? Oh no, we ain't never had that. We ain't never had no laying in the bed. You was sitting at the kitchen table or somewhere doing it. Not no laying in the bed. I was like, times has changed. Times has changed. People have changed. You know, they was like, you can't expect you from other people. And I had to really realize that. Like me, our real life, light, love, and positivity. I subscribe to it. I subscribe to it with every fiber of my being. If there's like somebody to say, oh, so I wish them well. You all got nope, that's all I got. I wish them well. I'm not putting out no bad juju energy, nothing. Not in 2022. I wasn't doing it before, but I'm definitely not doing it in 2022. Because by the end of this year, my 7 streams of income, I'm definitely trying to manifest them. And not just by throwing it up in the air, helping somebody hear me. I'm real life putting them into effect. As a matter of fact, in the morning, you will be able to join the channel. And what do I mean by join the channel? You will be able to be a member of Chelles Closet. There's 4 levels. You don't have to. Let me say that first. You don't have to join my channel. It would be nice if you did, but you don't have to. There's 4 levels. There's a closet freak, there's a closet freak deluxe, there's a closet freak elite, there's a closet freak premium. And when I say closet freak, I don't mean like somebody that's doing something sexually not one of them. I mean like you are somebody that is willing to walk a different path and be you. People will say freaks and they'd be like, oh, like shows from back in the days, you're a freak. It's like, no, the person is just different from you. You're different, but you're living your life. With these, as a channel member, you will have badges. There's a custom emojis that you can get, custom overlays. There's questions, do live streams for questions and answers. There's private chats. There's custom theme music, intro music, outro music. Well, intro, outro music is the same, but it's custom music. I'm just, paying it forward, doing what I can to make sure that, you are not alone. Y'all probably hear my voice. I'm talking the real nasally because you never had if your nose do this thing where it's like popping. It's so weird. So weird. It's just popping. But yeah, I just want to encourage you to unlearn. If you probably been having these questions, and you probably like, damn, I can't even ask anybody these questions because they're gonna think something wrong with me. But the reality of it is it's not anything wrong with you. You just waking up. I'm woke. That's people turn that into a negative connotation, like, oh, you woke, you don't believe in God because you woke. It's like I am a God and I am woke. I'm talking to you right now. I'm not asleep talking. I'm wide awake. It's just like it's okay to think about something other than what you thought about. It's okay for you to ask God questions. Like your church or whoever probably won't tell you that, but I'm going to tell you it's okay for you to ask God questions. God, why do you do that? Why did you allow me to be so loving and kind and still get treated like shit? Why? And then if you pay attention, once you ask that question, the answer is always right there. But sometimes we don't want to believe the answer is what it is. You didn't love yourself. You didn't respect yourself. You didn't care for yourself. Because we love to put it off on somebody else. No. Unlearn that belief of it's somebody else's fault. Sometimes you gotta look at yourself. I looked at myself a lot in the last year, and I was just really grateful that I was able to be open and honest with myself, because that's the first person we should be open and honest with. But we don't. We lie to ourselves all the time. We lie to ourselves telling us, oh, he yelling at me, he'll never hit me. And then he or she, let me stop saying just he, they hit me. They don't hit me again. They apologizing. And I'm not making light of this. I'm speaking to whoever I'm speaking to. They'll never hit me again. And now they hitting you in front of company. And if you are company and you don't do anything about it, ooh, it's a no for me. Oh, it's a no. The people they'll get sick of me. I know my family is sick of me because I be saying something all the time. Because you want to know why? Because people be like, nobody ever said nothing. Oh, I'm gonna say something all the time. My brothers know when I pick up the phone, they'd be like, "Hey, Chelle," and I'd be like, "Oh, well, I was." Oh God, here we go. And it's not one of those. Oh God, we know they already know what's gonna come. I know. I was thinking about it. I was saying, if you are a young man and you watching this, or if you are a young woman and you watching this, and you like, there's this thing where it's like African American mothers have some like spoken code or rule or something where their relationship between them and their daughters are like so weird. And I say it's weird because at first I didn't used to think that it was a real thing, but then when you see it happen a lot, you was like, wait a minute, maybe there is something that's going on. But then it's like if you think about like the way we were programmed. People say, I'm not programmed. You are programmed because when you were younger, you're taught how to brush your teeth, watch your face, put one leg in, put the other leg in, put your shoes and socks. You're programmed. You're taught how to do something. And then as you get older, you taught how to do it. Think about it. When you're younger, you make your bed. Now when you're older, you should make your bed when you get up in the morning because that's some positivity. It's positive stuff that you're doing. Unlearning beliefs. Unlearning, let go of anything that is not serving you, that is detrimental to your mental health. Let it go. You don't have to go to family functions. You don't have to. I know they try to guilt trip you. Don't let nobody guilt trip you. Step out of the fog. Fear, obligation, guilt. Again, they will always be your family members. Always. They'll always be your mother, always be your father, always be your siblings. You don't have to subject yourself to negativity. You don't. But your family will have you believe it, like, oh, we're family. You just supposed to. It's a no. Silence is not an option. I'm wrapping it up, y'all. Silence is not an option. It's a no. You need to unlearn the beliefs. Any beliefs that you have that you even question yourself, you ever yell at your child and be like, why did I just yell at them? Or you just be like, well, they just getting on my nerves. That's where this is the thing where I think more people should talk about, how does a child get on your nerves? They're a child. Like, how frayed do your nerves have to be with a baby? Like, that's why I was so disturbed um, last week, earlier this week or last week. There was a 10-year-old child here that passed away. And then when you're reading the news report, it says her mother wanted to put braids in her hair and she didn't want it or something. And then somehow there was a loud thud in the bathroom. One of the other siblings went in the bathroom, found the younger daughter on the floor, helped her to her bed. The young child passed away, blunt force trauma to the head. You heard me correctly. Her mother said, do you want to go get braids in your hair? The child said no. And next thing you know, the child is no longer alive. Or it's so many stories in the news, and it's only like the 50th, 45th, the 50th day of 2022, 52nd, first, whatever. It's one of those days of 2022. And there's a lot of kids that's died so far. There's a lot of adults, women especially, that's dying. If you're in a relationship, talk to the person that you are with. Don't just expect them to know because they're with you or they've been with you for a long time. So they should know. Talk to them. I say all the time, use your words because that is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling and what you are thinking. We are not mind readers. Some people do have that ability, but we are all not mind readers. If you are uncomfortable, tell somebody you are uncomfortable. Talk about it. If you are experiencing abuse, talk about it. Silence is not an option. And you probably think you're saving yourself, you're protecting the other person. Fuck them. They're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about protecting you. You have to do this for yourself. I'm giving you permission. You can't give them permission. I'm giving you permission. I'll be the first person in your life to tell you you don't have to carry that shit around. Let it go. Go to therapy. See a counselor. I know if you grew up in church and you don't go to therapy, you cast it on Jesus. I'm gonna tell you, find balance in your life. Go to therapy and have Jesus. A lot of people be like, "Well, therapy didn't work for me." The number one thing you're gonna learn in therapy is how to be honest with yourself. That's it. We all live in reality. A lot of us create our own reality. Some of us can't live without another person in our bed. So we create scenarios where other people have to be in our bed every night, scared to sleep alone. Mike Tyson said people scared to be alone because they're afraid of their demons. If you're alone, that means you gotta deal with yourself. I love being alone. I've been telling people I've been up here, it's been so peaceful. It's like it's peaceful. It's the greatest experience ever. To you ever like if you take this moment right now, breathe with me and just go, did you feel something? Like did you have to grab your heart like, man, I haven't done that in a long time. And just breathe. Everybody breathes, Chelle. No. People it's panic breathing and stress breathing. Me, I'm stuffed up, so I can't really like breathe, but being able to go to sleep and wake up and just know like I'm good. I'm good. I'm not holding on to unforgiveness. Listen, if you are holding on to something, I'm gonna tell you, the likelihood of people number one actually remembering what the fuck they did to you, it's kind of slim to none. Cause some people, they got other shit going on. They smoked a lot, they drunk a lot, and some of their brain cells ain't even there. Then some people just know and they just stubborn. But I'm gonna tell you this: you survived a global fucking pandemic for 2 years, 1 month, and 20 days. It is time that you choose you. Don't give a fuck about them. Forgive them. Somebody was like, oh, parents, adults, stop telling people to forget shit because they're never going to forget it. You didn't even forget shit. You didn't forget the shit that happened to you when you was little. You play it all the time. So a lot of adults be like, I wish a motherfucker would try my child like that because I'm on their ass. You never forgot. You don't forget. It don't just magically disappear. It's always there. But what I learned through therapy is that they teach you how to like walk through that. Like I was telling somebody, I was like, if you know that people calling you a bitch angers you every time somebody call you a bitch, you're gonna get angry. You probably should figure out why that bothers you so much. And sometimes it bothers us because there was a word that we used to hear growing up or somebody used to call us that all the time. Someone say, my mom used to call me a tramp all the time. I never knew what the fuck a tramp was, but my mom used to call me that all the time. So then when I got in a relationship and people just was saying disrespectful stuff, it's like, my mama, they ain't doing no worse than my mama did already. We get complacent with that. No, don't get complacent. Fight back. Fight for your right to live. Fight for that. Fight for your right to live. Live your own life. You know what I find really like troublesome? Like parents who try to push things that they wanted to do on their kids. I get it. They're your offspring. You want them to be great. But like parents who try to push like sports or things that their child don't want to do but to make you happy, that no child wants to make their parents unhappy. I'm sure when I told my mother, like, I'm sure she knew I was gay before that, but I'm sure when I told her that I was gay, like, she wasn't happy because now people are gonna look at her like, "Oh, your daughter gay." Not like I was gonna say, not like they kids ain't got like 5 or 6 kids by 2, 3 baby daddies. That's not saying that. You don't know what I'm saying, but it's like not like I don't know. We gotta unlearn shit. Unlearn treating people how we being rulers over people, like judgmental rulers over people. So what? If you can't help a person, leave them the fuck alone. Leave them alone. If you can't put them in the right direction, leave them the fuck alone. I'm the type of person, if I can't help you, if there's something you asking me and I don't know, give me one moment. I'm going to go Google it. I'm going to go find out somebody, hey, this is my friend. They work at this place and they can help you. I don't claim to have all the answers. I know how to find them though. I'm a researcher. I can figure it out. You got something you want to do, got a business, I can find out how to do it and I can share it with you. I ain't gonna charge you no millions of dollars or thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. I'll tell you to give me a subscribe, a follow, like. Somebody asks you how did you figure it out, just tell somebody that you talked to Chelle. That's all I ask. We just gotta start talking more. So I have these Star Trek conversations. Unlearn being silence. I wore silence as a badge of honor. Like, yes, I'm a strong black woman. And I'm not saying this that, I'm not coming against strong black women. I was like, yes, I'm a strong black woman. I be handling shit every fucking day. And I just got tired of being silent. I was like, these motherfuckers just over here thinking like I ain't just gonna say shit to them. And they was, because I didn't. Not in 2022. Started if you want to. And I ain't never been body gangster, but started if you want to. I ain't never been about that life. I'm just good with my words. And that's something I'm good. You know what gifts you blessed with. Maybe you could do makeup really good, or maybe you could sing really good, or maybe you are a parent. You're good at parenting or raising kids. Conversation, words. Oh, that's definitely me all day. So that's why you probably be like, but you was silent. That's not silent because like nobody was hearing me. Like nobody cared to listen. And I was just like, oh, you gonna hear me nasally and all. Can't even breathe, but you gonna hear me. Cause I got a voice now. So y'all know y'all about to get all these videos because I got a voice now. Anyways, that's all I got. Hopefully something I said tonight inspires you to choose you, the question stuff, and to just be a better person. If what you believe is not helping your mental health, if what you believe is not who you are at the core, if you believe it because somebody raised you up in it, if you believe it because somebody said you should stop. Find you. We don't tell people to go on a journey of self. We don't tell people that because if people start going on a journey of self, then they start realizing you doing some fucked up shit to me. You are a fucked up person, and I can't be around you. Like we all got people that we know that be fucked up, and we be trying to hang out with them, trying to, ooh man, you so negative. But we've been friends for 20 some years. It's 2022. Let that shit go. If you look at your friendship and you be like, damn, we only friends. We don't really have a friendship. We don't barely talk. I know people be like, man, I have friends I barely talk to. And it's like, how do you call that person your friend and you don't talk to them? Barely. I don't want to have a friend I barely talk to, especially now in 2022, because so much shit is going on. Relationships, situationships, entanglements. So much shit is going on. We got to be mindful and care for one another. Be mindful and care for one another. That's all I got, y'all. I feel my nose. This part right here feel like it is just collapsing. It's a lot right now. it can just keep popping. I don't even know what it is, but it's bothering me. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and I'm gonna say, remember, it is important for you to use your words. Usually, I'll have popping up on the screen of my videos, but I don't got it here. That is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling and what you are thinking. I will never let a video vlog, anytime y'all see this beautiful face and these gorgeous dimples, go out without me telling you to love yourself. Love yourself. Choose you and love yourself. Know yourself. You know. You know when you are not yourself. Know yourself. Trust that you will not lead yourself wrong. Trust that. You have to trust that. You're not going to lead yourself wrong. They have this thing they talk about in therapy like flight or fight. Trust yourself. You're not going to lead yourself wrong. And for the love of humanity, just be yourself. Why? Because you need you. I need you. We need you. One more time. You need you. I need you. We need you. In case you need a friendly reminder, you will hear me say it like 1,000 times tonight. We're currently presently surviving a global fucking pandemic, and you should be living your best life right now. If no one has told you in the first month and 20 days of 2022, I will take pride in being the first to tell you that I love you, I believe in you, I trust you. You have every fucking thing you need to be successful right up in here. It was already born into you. Remember way back in the beginning, if you just tuned in, I said that your beginning and your end is already known. So that means everything you need to go from here to here was placed in you so that you can get from there to there. You were born with it. You just got to activate it. How do you activate it? Go on a journey. Unlearn beliefs that are not serving you, that haven't served you. A lot of things you still do because you just been doing it for so long. Let it go. Try something different. That's all I got. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for staying and hanging out for 2 hours. I done cried, I done smiled, I done laughed. But this is like a form of therapy for me, I want to say. I have therapy. And then it's like another form of therapy. It's like me being able to say, hey, listen, you may be in darkness right now. You probably are. You probably can't see a light, but guess what? There's one in here. There's a light in there, and you feel the light. You feel the burning of that light. You have to let it go. You have to let that light out. Turn it up. Turn your light up. If everybody turned their light up and shines so bright, it will cast out the darkness. You are important. You are necessary to life. We need you. You need you. I need you. We need you. You are an important component to this here life. 2022, you are an important component to it. We need you to be at your best self. We do. That's all I got, y'all. I love y'all. If you haven't already, if you're on YouTube, if you go up to the community tab and vote. No, it is this corner. Sorry, y'all. If you can go up to the community tab and vote, it's flipped around, so I'll be trying to get it. Anyways, go to the community tab and vote for your favorite song that you want to hear me sing, or you can come and sing next Saturday at 9. Um, Coming up shortly at 10 is nighttime meditations, and at 11 o'clock, I'm going to be over there on TikTok. I'm doing gospel tonight in honor of Sunday. I'm doing gospel. I don't subscribe to religious organizations, or I don't subscribe, but gospel music I'm a musician. It's the music I love. I love the feel of it. So hopefully I'll see you then, but if not, and this is, the last time we'll talk tonight, I love you. I believe in you. You could do this. Until next time. Peace.